Okay. So, it's Sunday. Sorry about the tweet last night that went out that said that the husband wasn't streaming last night. I didn't understand. Our friend had messaged him, asked if he wanted to do something, and our friend isn't available regularly. So, Russell was torn between on what he wanted to do, and I'm like, well, I said, it's up to you. I said, or you could just stream whatever you're gonna do with Tyler. And he's like, yeah, maybe. And then, then he was sitting there and I said something. Oh no, I popped onto Twitch to check something and I saw he was streaming. I was like, you didn't tell me you were streaming. He goes, yeah, I did. I was like, no, you didn't indicate that you were going to stream with Tyler. You said, fuck it, I want nerd time. And that's what you told me. So he's like, oh. He goes, well, yeah, we're streaming. And I'm like, okay. He forgot to change the tags, so the tags went up wrong. And I didn't know that they went up wrong till today when I was switching them out. So sorry about the confusion on that. And they ended up playing, I think it was Dying Light. Just make sure that my music cannot be heard. I don't have any stream-friendly music right now. I used to run Pretzel, and then one of my streams got muted. And that pissed me off, and I was having trouble getting the attribution to go to the chat. It was refusing to go, and I'm like, what? And I didn't have the money to pay for it, so the free version you had to have it going to the chat, and I was trying to get to go to the chat, and apparently some of the channels were not actually stream friendly. Surprise? Or something? I don't know. Something happened there. Okay, so that should be not hearable. That is muted. Okay. So it should just be my mic that's picking up. That's fine. Okay, so we are back to needle felting with Bob Ross. Link is in the chat to the YouTube tutorial of his from his channel. We move quite a lot slower than the tutorial here, so if you want to see the tutorial in full, by all means, there is the link in the chat. I will pin it in 1 second. So that way it is there. Russell just finished his editing pass on the speed felt from the lighthouse one that was our last project. We will be, I will be working on my pass on that probably starting tomorrow. Alright, so we might be jumping around a little bit on this one now. We're 7 minutes in, but I really need to get started on our water wheel. So we're gonna go ahead. He does his land down in here. I'm gonna hold off on that for right now. I thought I had saved some fluff last week, but I'm not seeing it. So I don't know what I did with it, because it's not where I had left it. But he did his yeah, I don't know. He did his riverbank over here almost all the way down. Almost already. We're gonna do a little different. Okay, so he's scraping in the outline of the mill. Excuse me. So I'm just gonna kind of get another glance at this guy. We already have ours sketched in. You never know if you're gonna notice something that you failed to notice previously. Alright, so he's scraping as best as he can. Man, that canvas is really stained. Okay, so he took his dark brown and started putting in the roof. His roof's a little bit taller than ours. And that's fine. Alright, so he's just kind of putting in his walls so the roof's got something to sit on. So again, that's fine. And then he's kind of coming down that way. Alright, so he went ham on his dark color, as he usually does. So then he's gonna take some of that, and he's gonna add the slightest bit of, it looked like umber and white, to get his, like, kind of rusty color. And then he's gonna start to highlight his roof a bit. So we're gonna do ours a little differently. Okay, and then he kind of does that. So he's gonna add more Van Dyke brown to that color. And then he's gonna do that. So we're gonna, okay, so he's basically gonna do that on the sides here. Oh, that was my bad. Okay, so that side he gave a little bit more of a lighter highlight to, which is interesting. And then he kind of just drew in some board lines. Ah, no, 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 no. That ad gets me no money. Sorry, Bob. I'm not against ads, but I am against showing ads from your channel on my channel that do me no good. Alright, so he gets fancy, puts in a little window, I guess. Alright. So he highlights a little bit more around there. So now he's going to start to build the wheel. So we want to see this in the middle. Alright, so he's scraping all that off. So then he goes back in with that really dark color. And is basically trying to make a bracelet. Like a big chunky bangle. And he grabs some yellow and kind of blends that in. Not sure why the yellow. Maybe it's like sunlight hitting it and we just can't see it because we never see his reference photos. Okay, so then the water's there. And then he comes back in and he puts the slats in there that would be holding the water. And then what's he doing? Oh, okay, so he's just kind of evening out the side there a little bit. Alright, now what are you doing? Okay, so then you're putting in your spokies. Okay. So overlapping crosses, basically. Is what that comes down to. And some of them look, is that a highlight or is that just the way the lights in the studio are hitting the wet paint? That's a dang good question. I think it's just the way the wet paint is glaring. Okay, so yeah, now he's talking about adding highlights, so. Alright. So then he's just gonna fuss with that. Okay. And then he starts putting in that. I forgot we had that one to put into. So we're gonna do ours a little bit differently. Alright, can we get a... Alright, we're gonna have to go with that. So we're gonna go with our coffee bean. And we're gonna pull some bits of that out. What the hell? Did I like spill? Oh, I did. I'm having a day. Right before I went to go live, spilled water, or I spilled my juice all over my rug. Everywhere. It's like 2/3 of a full cup of juice. That pissed me off. And then I had to stop what I was in the middle of doing and clean all that up. That kind of broke my momentum for getting started. Spilling this now. Okay, so need to get this figured out here for our length. And I'm just gonna try to follow my line here. I want to overlap just a little bit. Just a little on the pink. Not a tremendous amount though, because I don't want to lose any more sky than really necessary. But I also don't want a weird seam connection here. So I'm gonna tap in our pink a bit. And I'm gonna take this edge down that way. Now I do have what could be either an extremely dark brown or black. I think it's an extremely dark brown, or it's like a mix of brown and black together in the roving that I'm going to use to outline this, mostly because I don't feel like getting up and getting my black. Excuse me. I'm still kind of recovering from my fucking my neck up earlier this week, so we have a cat with a UTI problem. That we've been dealing with on top of everything else this week, so that's not been fun. And I'm tired, because he's been not wanting to pee in his litter box, and that's how we found out he had the UTI. We thought after it had been a day of him not peeing where he wasn't supposed to, we had it under control with his antibiotics, and just as we were about to put the waterproof cover over my mom's mattress that we went out and got her last night, he decided he was gonna pee on it again out of nowhere, and we're like, dude, the hell? So it's been a long, exhausting few days, to be perfectly honest. 'Cause my mom was sleeping in my bed, because I had to shampoo her mattress. While we were waiting for the antibiotics to take a hold. Alright. Don't know how much of a disaster this building's gonna turn out to be. I really don't know. We'll see. We will see. Alright. I'm just kind of working on getting my framework in place here. Getting my building lined out. As best as I can. So yeah, I'll probably start working on my edit pass on that last speed felt. Oh gosh. If not tonight, then maybe tomorrow. Kind of depends on how late I'm up tonight. Like how late I'm sitting at my computer. Last night I tried to go to bed early because I've been running on like 4 hours of sleep all week. And laid down purposely early. And sleep was like, ha ha, no. I'm like, what? I'm like, body, we're exhausted. We've been trying to go to bed early. You know this. And it was behaving like a toddler with its fingers in its ears going, la 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 la, can't hear you. It's like, really? But at least I got to lay down and get ice on my neck. At least not hold my head up. So we'll see how I'm feeling by the time my free time tonight rolls around. We will see, because I don't know if we have to do game night with my mom tonight. That I don't know. Just tapping a little bit of water there. Just a little bit. Alright, so again, I'm just mostly focusing on our outlines at the moment. We're gonna come back in here in just a minute. And start to fill some of this in here. That way I know where we're trying to aim for here. No, let's go this way. Get this thicker bit out here on the outer edge. Alright, so I hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope everyone enjoyed TwitchCon. I didn't really see any of it. It's too busy. But I hope everybody else had an amazing time. Seeing all things, doing all things. Alright, so we've kind of got our roof lined out. Kind of. A little bit of water, don't need very much, just a few drops. We'll do it. Okay, so again, I'm just kind of getting my structures. I'm not really eyeballed out because we already have our lines in. But this is just kind of helping me, and I have another color that I'm gonna come in with and line out over it. In key spots. But this is just kind of helping get everything a little bit more defined in here. We're starting to tighten up this section of fluff. Starting to. So as much as I love Paintbox, I was getting really frustrated that every time I was on Lovecraft's website, the colors that I want, they're out of. So I was trying to put my Christmas list together for the husband because some stuff might have to get ordered. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to go somewhere else for yarn then, because this is still out of stock. These colors have been out of stock for months and months and months and months. Every time I go to look, they're out of stock. So either they've come back in and sold back out again, or they're just not getting those colors back. I don't know. But they were more of like the succulent colors, the green shades that I don't have. Getting kind of frustrated. So I popped over to Michael's website because Joann's really didn't have the colors I was looking for. And Michael's had something in what I think might be their house label. Basic of Basics acrylic yarn. I don't remember what it was called. So I picked out some colors on that. And I keep forgetting that there is, I wanted to try to get some wireless earbuds or something, although I gotta see if my computer even has that ability. I think it does, but I'm not 100% certain. That felt funny there, so. Like the corner there feels a little weird, but we might be able to clean that up with our other color. Okay, so that piece didn't quite make it all the way over, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Alright, so that's gonna be a bit of a different shade there. Alright, so we're gonna start to wrap this up here. So we slowly get this boy figured out. Wow. So when I make it not crooked for me, it is very crooked for all of you. Camera angles, woohoo. Okay. So I'm gonna just tack that down there. Okay. So then over here, we'll take this across this edge. So just kind of twisting that a little bit so I can see it a little bit better. Just kind of get all of our fuzzes together here. Okay, so that's straight for you guys. So it's not too bad. Okay. So I'm gonna, that corner's still kind of bugging me there a bit. Although I guess that should have come in a little bit more. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what we can do there. And that looks a little funny. Might have needed to have a little bit more of an angle on it. We'll see what we come up with when we start filling everything in here. Okay. Probably hitting that water a little heavy. A little heavier than I need to. And this is gonna come up this way. Alright, so we've got kind of like our base grid line put in here for the most part. Alright, so we're gonna come back in with our fluff and stuff. And we're gonna see about starting to fill in everything then. Alright, so just gonna work on getting our roof line. Well, we have the roof line itself. I guess more so the roof bits here. So work on getting all of that good and attached to our liking. I have just made a ginormous mess here. Got water everywhere. So I gotta kind of remember to leave a bit of that in place. Sorry, I'm trying to look at my stuff here. There's like angles at war here. I might just cover that up for simplicity's sake. And then reline it out with my other color here. Just to make this easier. Because this thing's gonna be a bit of a trial otherwise, I think. The 2 new crabs are still kind of hiding. The one completely buried himself, so we don't know if the stress of being moved is making him do a molt. So we can't switch out the tanks until he comes up. But I think we still have to get 2 to 3 new hot pads, depending on the size that he finds. Sorry, I've got a little puddle of water on my mat here that spilled, and it was kind of like going everywhere. So I was trying to use that. Yeah, no, the light's not showing it. It's definitely all over. I haven't lost my mind completely yet. I promise. There's water there that I'm trying to mop up a bit. Because I actually don't have any paper towels over here for a change. I guess I could use the hem of my shirt. And that's an option. It's just water. It's not like I don't already have juice everywhere, all over my shorts and stuff from spilling. My cup, my fucking elbow. I don't normally put my, well, no, that's not true. When I'm streaming, sometimes I will put my drink off to that side. But to keep it out of camera frame, and I'm usually pretty good about it until I'm not good about it, and I had a cup that was a little light, and I went to push my chair in, or pull my chair in with my feet, and my elbow went to try to get some purchase on the edge of the desk and hit the cup, and I panicked and tried to save it with said elbow, and then it just kept getting worse from there. And yeah, it was definitely a Nisey moment for the books. Classic Nisey moment. And I got upset and I got mad and growled angrily. And I was like, it's just juice. It's gonna be okay. Shit happens. I was more mad that I had to clean it up than anything, so I was like, damn it. It's fucking everywhere. Oh, I didn't see if it went in my desk drawer, though. No, I don't think it did. I think it all hit the floor. And me. I will say, our weather right now is not helping my next situation at all. Oh my goodness. We were like down into the low 40s, high 30s at night for a few days. We had to put the heat on at night, and I'm like, wow, we're getting into a real fall here. Yesterday it was 85. I was like, you're fucking kidding me? Really? Really? Alright, I think we've got all that up now. where that should start to... No, there's still some there. Alright. It looks like Fantasy Fest festivities are starting to kick off in Key West this weekend. The Goombay Festival was this weekend. We went to that when we were there. That was fun. It's like a street craft fair. All kinds of like art, food, mostly food. There was a lot of food booths. But there was some art and people, you know, their own business booths. You know, your flea market staples like seasoning and little gimmicky stuff and candles and last night might have been the zombie. See, I don't know if last night was the zombie bike ride or if it's tonight. I feel like it might be tonight, but I could be wrong about that. Because they did have Duval Street shut down near Sloppy Joe's last night for some kind of block party that was going on later, because they had the cops out in the middle of the one intersection there. You could see on the webcam from outside of Sloppy Joe's. And you could see some Halloween costumes on, but they were kind of the tame ones. Oh, yeah, so here's a friendly word of advice or caution. If you've not been to Key West before, and you go, or you've been there before and didn't know it, if you go to Sloppy Joe's, they have webcams. There's one inside, there's like 2 outside. There might be 2 inside or 1 outside. I don't know. They've got some webcams. Your dumb drunk asses are being seen on the internet. If you're standing outside, especially looking in, they have a thing up there that says, you know, webcam, you're on the internet. But I don't know how many people pay attention to it. And I'm not sure if it's the people that are running the webcam, because they have their own webcam network on their own website, like links to it. But there's another channel that has a network of them. And someone, and I'm not sure if it's the people that run this webcam or not, go in, and I guess as they're reviewing the tapes, or maybe someone timestamp stuff that they find entertaining, and your drunk escapades that are in front of that camera might just show up. There's been people falling down drunk on the sidewalk. There's been some clothing malfunctions that have shown up there. You're on camera. Behave yourselves. Okay? All kinds of public displays of affection and right there on the sidewalk. I mean, I know it's Key West, I get that, but come on, guys. There is no shortage of hotel rooms. Okay? Oh, buddy. Now, I don't think any of the, well, no, I can't say that for sure, because they have adult party sections throughout the week where they're having adult-only parties, because they allow at these adult-only parties, body paint on the ladies. So you can be topless as long as your body paint covered in in your upper regions. I don't think they have the cameras too tight there. Rick and Dirty Harry's might see some stuff, but then again, you know, if you've got people venturing out of the party area. Key West is wild at Halloween. So, you know, everybody lets their Key West hang out for Halloween, so be prepared. It's not exactly, I'd say mature themes. Mature themes. Let's go with that. If you've not experienced a Key West Halloween on Duval Street for Fantasy Fest specifically. I mean, it's always a little wild down there on Saturday nights, but it's like a whole week of the wild non-stop. It's like a whole week of Saturdays during Fantasy Fest festivities. Sorry, I was getting a drink. Okay. Getting some more fluff here. Oh, you know what? I didn't log into Stream Elements, but they did join the chat, so thank you for that, Stream Elements. Okay. So let's work on getting our next bit of roofing color in here. Now my lines aren't going to be real precise. They might be a little wobbly, a little wonky. I mean, we are dealing with fluff. And fluff's going to pull and stretch and might not end up in the same place that we started. I was hoping that piece was gonna be enough, but alas, I think we might need one more tiny bit up there, but then again, maybe not, maybe not. Maybe we're okay. This might be working. Okay, so we got that. Kinda in place there. Alright. So I wanna grab that's not that close, but okay, there we go. Alright, so I don't have that much of this one. Might be able to use a tiny bit of it. It's pretty. We definitely have a mix of roving and acrylic yarn happening here, which can happen. Okay. I'm just gonna kind of try to get some highlight in on our roof here a little bit. Or maybe more of a mid-tone streak would be a better descriptor. Okay. Oh, we need our scissors. I've got paint all over. Still not quite sure how that happened. I mean, I'm sure I knew at the time, but I don't remember now. So I guess would be a more accurate description of what happened there. Sometimes when you're working with the roving, depending on type of roving you have, you'll get like a coarse bit of fluff or plant matter or something, straw. Something that didn't want to cooperate with the processing process. Okay, so we don't want a whole super huge mess of this. I don't want this super thick. Because we're gonna have that window going up here. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. It is Sunday here where I am. And we are working on getting this roof done. Oh, sorry, I was shaking the camera, I didn't realize. I saw my monitor going back and forth there. Sorry about that. Okay, I am going to turn this guy just a bit. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the yarn just a little bit. You know, I've got this really separated out, like you can hardly see it because of the shade. Just to kind of, I can see it a little bit better now. Just to try to work on getting our highlights sorted out here. It might even be a little thick for our highlights, but let's see how this pans out. As we get tapped in here. Because sometimes when you have like the real wispy pieces, you can tap it in as such where some of it just kind of melts in and kind of vanishes or pulls itself in tight to where it's a couple of thicker strands. Okay, actually that did not pull in as much as I was necessarily expecting it to. Well, that's okay. No real harm or foul. And highlights are gonna sit different, because I mean they're highlights. So just a little bit of fluff here. This might actually be a little much. I don't want to go too crazy here. Okay. We'll work on getting the rest of our highlighty bits worked in here. Alright, that's not bad. Remember, with is very separated. Very, like, cobweb, spiderwebby. Like if you were trying to stretch out those fake cobweb things to decorate with. You want it, like, very pulled apart. Got paint trying to escape, or not trying to, it is successfully escaping one of my Ziploc bags under my desk. That's fun. One of them just hit my foot. I need to get the broom and get everybody rounded back up there. Remember, take your time, especially when you're working with the little stringy pulled apart strands, because sometimes it can take a minute to get them attached, so you don't have anybody trying to escape on you. Number one. Number two, you don't want to stab yourself. That's why we have these on, for a little extra protection. How In the hell? Did they like fully knot this? They did. But only like the tip of it. Okay. Alright, so I want this to be pretty tight strand here. We have an end that's a little too flyaway. Let's get a little bit more water there on the tip of your finger. The roving tends to stick to itself better, so sometimes the water trick works a little bit better on the roving. It's still doable on the acrylic yarn. We've demonstrated that. But I've found it works a little bit easier on the roving, or at least that's what people have said. Sometimes, depending on, I guess it depends on the yarn you're using. I've had it work pretty well with the yarn, and sometimes the roving has wanted to fight me, so I guess it just depends. Just gonna work on getting that section just kind of lined up a little bit. I feel like it'll help a little bit. So let's see. Were we doing game night tonight or no?
I have no idea. We might not be.
I don't care either way. I just wanted to know. I didn't know how you were feeling.
Kind of tired, and I might be trying to get the crab sorted.
I thought you had to wait for the hot pad.
Oh, sure. We are getting a little close to cold. Gotta see if I can order that then.
Oh, I thought you had already ordered it and we were just waiting on it. Unless you think resticking it's gonna work.
It's not going to. I've tried it. It's not gonna work.
I mean, if I keep the curtain closed, I can probably keep it warm in here.
We never keep it that warm.
I mean, I could also shut the window. The window's been open, but...
Yeah, but even then, when it starts getting cold, it starts...
No. I mean, until the hot pads get here. If you wanted to do it before then. For a few days, it would probably be okay. But the other one's still buried, so...
Yeah.
You can't really do much of anything aside from grab that fuzzy bit of food from the back corner.
Yep.
Which won't take that long. Alright, so I'm not going to outline this side yet, but I'm going to do this one. Okay, so this is kind of giving a little bit of shadow. And I'm just trying to help the...
Alright, so I've ordered it. It should arrive Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
How come the Prime stuff's taking longer to ship?
I don't know. But I may swap them out tonight and put the other pads up and press them against it with tape or something just temporarily.
But the other guy's buried. You can't move them.
I'll have to dig them up.
But isn't that what happened to the last one?
There's no guarantee that that's what's going to go, like that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
He might just be de-stressing.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the other one's just hiding in the cave.
Mm-hmm. Do I need to sacrifice my boo bucket for a proper sized cave for him, or no?
Well, we could do that. I could cut a hole in it.
I mean, I could, like, hot glue some sticks or something to it.
No, you wouldn't have to. We could just cut a hole and it'd be alright.
Well, I mean, it's an ugly, white, glaring bucket.
It's only temporary, dear.
I meant as a permanent fixture for him to play in.
No.
Well, fine then. I'll keep my boo bucket.
Okay, you do that.
My boo bucket's too good for him. I don't know where I keep picking up glitter from, unless that's just sparkly yarn. Particularly shiny bit, which I guess could be possible. Oh, maybe that's just a shiny piece of yarn. I might have to add the slightest bit extra on that. Oh, no, maybe. That back corner is a little thin. So a little snip. Okay, and let's see. Do we need a little tiny bit more? Maybe. Just to thicken. That up just a little bit, because that section was just a bit peaky. Alright, so we get that. Hi.
You gotta give me a minute, buddy.
Momo, can you go fast? Can you do it fast? Alright, puppy wants to potty. I'll be back in just a minute. So now would be a good time to get up and stretch. And go potty yourselves. I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Sorry about that. Okay,
Yeah,
so we're back. Sorry about that. Pupper has to potty, Pupper has to potty. And the husband just kind of sat down a minute ago. Okay, so let's work on getting this side worked into place here. Ooh, I have to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Whew. I wonder, should I just take it straight down? Maybe we should. No real reason not to. It's a bit windy outside, so stepped out into all of the pollen-y goodness. So it looks like last night when I saw flames in the church parking lot, they did have a fire pit, not a dome, but like a fire pit, inverted dome bowl, I don't know, whatever, the wrought iron shit that you can, or steel or whatever the hell it is. It looks similar to the one that we used to have, but it still made me nervous with those flames next to the straw bales that everybody was sitting on that were scattering themselves all around the bottom of under where the fire pit was. And it didn't really look like that many adults were paying attention to it at one point towards the end. You could see some smaller kids sitting there with what looked to be marshmallows. At least I hope that's what it was. And they didn't look like they were being all that supervised. And I was like, oh. Children, flaming marshmallows, straw everywhere around this fire pit, like that they were sitting on these bales, and the bales were shedding, I guess from being sat on, so it was just everywhere. But when I took Momo out just now, I saw what they used for the fire sitting out on the curb over there. I guess it had been too hot to deal with, or they didn't know whose it was. Somebody forgot to cool it off and take it with them. It's pretty sad that they had to have the police department with not one, but two SUVs sitting in the driveway for their back side-ish parking lot, overflow parking lot, where they were having this, to keep people from cutting through the parking lot to get to their housing on the other side, because they didn't want to go to the corner and turn the side streets. Like, they wanted to cut through the church parking lot that dumps out on this back dead-end street. I'm like, just go to the corner. I'm like, wouldn't cones and like caution tape have done the same thing? They actually had to have 2 cop cars sitting there blocking it. And I was like, okay. I think one would have been sufficient. I guess it was a slow night and the other one joined in. I don't know. It was mildly fascinating. Do 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 do. Okay. This is probably the longer way of doing this. Pulling it straight down. Like the longer way of getting this bit just filled in, but at the same time, we did have to get this section filled in too, so it's a little bit easier than constantly coming back in and snipping. What's in the washer?
Oh, it's my my blankets.
Oh, okay. Was my loose?
What?
When the mysterious wet spot showed up earlier, or no?
No.
Okay, so it was definitely him.
It was definitely him. Okay. Assuming it was, again, a fresh... Because it was exactly the place where there was one earlier that we couldn't get rid of. So I'm not sure.
She said she felt the wet spot, but I said, well, we couldn't pull up anything with the puppy pad.
Well, she didn't. She told me she didn't touch the wet spot.
Oh, I don't know.
She just saw it.
Well, she said it was wet.
Yeah, and I asked her, so you touched it? She said, no, I saw it. That's what I'm talking about.
It might have been the way the light was hitting it, because I had a really hard time getting those stains. But I also didn't do the full amount of soap because I didn't want to have trouble getting it back out of the mattress. She really needs a new mattress. She kind of needed it before this anyway. Alright. So what's got you all typey?
Talking to Tyler.
So you forgot to change the tags last night? When you did Dying Light? So it was tagged as Planet Zoo?
I changed it on mine and I hit save.
No, not the category, the tags. The hashtags.
Oh, the manual hashtags.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I noticed it when I went in to change them for the art stream, and I was like, oh, interesting. Oops. Can't wait to get back into Coral Island, but we still have another couple weeks before we can do that. because I want to wait until 1.0 releases, because they said when that happens on the 14th, they're resetting all of the saves. There would be a way to bring your money over if you wanted to, but since we just started over, we might just redo Flock This Farm and just start over with a fresh farm, because we're not that terribly far, and I think we're still in spring. And it just doesn't feel right to carry the money over as it's coming out of release. I would like to have a fresh start personally. So we get a better feel of release playthrough. Alright. We'll definitely have to do more fluff here at some point. Will we make it till the end of the project? Maybe. Kind of depends. We have a bit more of this brown left to go. Oh, my sinuses are mad since going outside. Damn. Alright, so again, my fingers just here is like a gentle weight. Because if I don't, see how it starts like pulling everything in like a lot faster. If I do this, it kind of, it'll still pull what it needs, but it won't pull all of it excessively down in too quickly. And that's just like a personal preference thing. Okay. Alright, so that's going to need a little more attention on that section. Because we're a little bit thinner, it's a little bit patchier down there. But that piece up here needs a little attention too. All right. So let's get a bit more water. Just a couple drops. Don't need much. Okay. So I might have to redo that quote-unquote shadow edge up there. Just a little bit. Now I am overlapping our sections here, going up and down over the previous section just a little bit. Just to kind of prevent any weird overlay seam, or not overlay, but any weird like next to each other seams, so we don't get any like weird looking divots or anything. And so we hopefully don't have any splits or breaks where the yarn's gonna meet up with each other. Okay. So there's a couple thin spots. Not too bad. Not sure if I want to fill in those thin spots now, if I want to wait till we're done and get them all at once. Might wait till we're done this side if we have time. Might be less of a headache to do it that way. So this is just something I do because sometimes I pull the fluff apart. I just find it attaches a little bit easier for me to do it this way. Some people prefer to work in larger fluffy chunks. You work with it how you want to work with it. I've just found this works easier for me. And we're slowly chipping away. Like, I don't really know how many sessions to expect this one to go. I mean, we're on 6 now. Let's see, what time is it? We probably won't be done this building today. I have about 55 minutes left. So we probably won't finish this today, this building. So if we finish the building tomorrow, and then we start to put in our riverbank over here, like just the bank. And then we have that. We might have at least another 4 to 5 sessions. Most likely. Going by how I've averaged with the other ones, I think our shortest amount of sessions on these, well, on these, since I've started to have a hard stop time in some sessions, we only like just get in 2 hours. Probably like 12 to 13, probably 13. So we're on 6 now. Probably easily 5, if not another 6. Because we still have to do our dowel rods and all that. I'll probably try to paint them off stream though. I mean, I can always record that footage and slip that into the speed paint if necessary. But I mean, you've seen enough of that by now. Or you should have the idea of how I'm handling the dowels. At the very least, I will have them primed ahead of time, if I remember. Oh wait, yes, I did save that fluff. I remember where I put it now. Aha. It's in one of my paint water cups. I tucked it up there because I'm like, okay, nothing will happen to it in here. And I forgot it was there. It's dry and empty. It's not like soaking in water. I put it up there because I'm like, oh, nothing should happen to this, and then I never got around to painting this week because my neck was fucked up. Okay. So we are going through a fair bit of this brown that I had pre-painted pre-fluffed. Right now, the question is, will we be able to finish the project without having to fluff more? That is the question. And I just don't have an answer to that yet. I guess we'll see. Okay. So we're not doing too bad here. My main goal is to at least get this section that we're in right now squared away. Not necessarily this, but this part up here. Okay. Get all of this worked into here. Okay, so gently do that. I'm going to turn our mat again, since we're kind of working in the same spot generally. Okay. Let's kind of work on getting that tagged in there. I know it doesn't feel like we're making a whole lot of progress here, but we actually are. I mean, we didn't have anything done on this building when we got started today, so that is definitely a win. Now, I could have waited and outlined stuff as we got to it, because I know we're just, you know, bulldozing right through that particular line that we did, but still, it helped me a bit. Get the feel for where we are, and that was kind of when we could make adjustments to how our pen line was sitting if we weren't real happy with it. I know we're a little wobbly over here. That's fine. Once we get everything all put in here, we won't really see it. I know we've got some gaps here and some gaps and thin spots down in here. Don't worry about those right now. We will take care of all that shortly. So if I see any sections that look like they're sticking up a bit noticeably. I'm just kind of coming back in. Just to make sure that it is actually attached to our fluff here, or felt. Okay, so that's how we're looking so far. This kind of looks almost like it's got a greenish tinge to it. It's terribly funny. Because it most certainly doesn't. I guess it's just picking up. I guess the camera's just picking up the other green around it. Is more than likely what's going on there. Okay. We're getting there. We've almost made it. At least with the first pass across. So this side's gonna get more of like a mid-tone pass with like our burnt orange roving basically. But this side's not gonna get our soft fudge highlight. Because Bob's got this side of the building sort of in shadow. And that kind of makes sense because there's a tree that comes in here. You can't see it yet, but there's going to be a tree that's kind of hanging out in here. Okay. So we've got maybe one more pass to get the initial spots filled in here. And then we'll come back through. And hit that up again. And get that taken care of. Alright. So hope everybody's favorite sports ball teams are doing okay this weekend. What's everybody doing for dinner today? We're doing chicken. Probably teriyaki chicken with some, I think I've got some carrots left, probably some sliced carrots and some green beans and some macaroni and cheese. From scratch macaroni and cheese. Is the plan for dinner tonight? I think we should have everything for it. Right. Work on getting this last bits of color all stuck in here on our first pass through. So I took that little tail down into here, and that seemed to kind of fix that weird uneven zigzag that we had going on down there. So that's good. Got a little tiny gap right there, but I think we'll deal with that with the outline color. Is what I think we'll do there. Okay. So this is coming along pretty good. Pretty good. Like, it looks a little wonky at the moment on the screen. Like, I get that. I definitely do. I'm gonna cut this piece in half. Whoop. Good enough. So I'm gonna work this in here. And we'll fill in that little section that didn't get any fluff. Sorry, like I said, if I see a section that looks a little uncertain as to whether it got properly attached, I am more than likely just gonna give it another couple love taps there and make sure. Alright, so we've got a couple more thin spots over here. Okay, it's not too bad. But we do have a couple of spots that I want to fill in here. Alright, so we'll get this one worked into here. Okay, we might need to get the slightest bit more fluff here. Potentially. Like, everything's gonna have an ugly stage. We just have to hope that this comes out of its ugly stage, really. That's the main thing. And hopefully it will. Hopefully. Okay, so I think we've got maybe just this last little bit across the bottom here. I mean, I could just fill it in with the the black, I suppose, or that dark brown. But it is a little thick in the one spot, or a little wide in the one spot, so I'm just gonna kind of work that in. And just make that part of the side shed line here. I don't think he put a door on this, so I guess we get in on the other side. Okay. Now. Uh-oh. I'm losing our fluff here. I'm also losing my rug. It's all bunched up. It came out from underneath of its tape. That duct tape, that roll. I don't know what the hell its deal is. But that roll of duct tape never really seemed sticky. Or it didn't stay sticky for long. And yet I've had other rolls where it was murder trying to unstick it. Okay. Oh, technically he didn't have a line across there. Okay. You need to separate out there, my friend. Just a bit. You're a little thick right there. Alright, so we'll work in this. Not quite exactly real dark. I guess we could streak in some of that, our dark edgy color. I mean, that's possible. Alright, so I want to make sure that we've got this good and attached before I go and grab anything else. So I can see where placement needs to happen. Sorry, I had an itch on my ankle. Alright. So, you know, just fuss with your fluff to where you're happy with it, pretty much. Alright, hold on one second. This I sound like a bug bite on my ankle or something. Oh my goodness. Because that certainly itches all of a sudden. Okay. So we'll get all of this carefully worked into here. I don't have very much of this color left, which is why I'm being a little extra sparingly with it, because this is from the roving. And I can't just order another bit of this because this came in like a variety pack of a multitude of shades. It was just like, here. No idea what the colors were. We've given them our own names. So when we run out of it, we run out of it. Oh, ow! Oh, I'm gonna end up breaking these headphones. I mean, the longer wire is helpful. But at the same time, sometimes it's a hindrance. We got a lot of loose little fuzzes, so we want to take our time and make sure that we're getting everybody attached to our liking. I mean, now you might not necessarily have to tap it as much as I do, and you especially probably wouldn't have to tap it as much as I do if you had a multi-needle. Oh, I've got paint everywhere. I don't really like the multi-needle. I prefer the single needle. The multi-needle really makes my arm and neck get real tired real fast. If you just want to make sure, or if you want to see if you have any fluff that's loose in a section where you don't want it to be loose, just like kind of run your fingers over and see if anything shifts around a little too much that you're not happy about, and just go back in and re-stab it. I just had a little spot here show up. It's a little thinner than I necessarily am looking for. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. If it does stick out a little more than you really necessarily wanted it to, you can always come back in with a little bit more of that mid-tone color that we just put down. I'm not going to fret about it too much because we've got some other stuff that we're going to do there, so it should be okay. See, this is all I have left of this color, I believe. Unless there's another little bag that's a similar shade lurking around. But that's okay, because I want to get this roving used up. If we can. I just don't have enough of it to really do a full project, I don't think. Because, I mean, some of these colors we use fairly heavily. Okay. I'm gonna come back in with some of that dark color. Because I kind of feel like we need it. We need something over here. Alright, so I'm gonna, he highlighted the edge of this. Alright, we're still with our roving colors. That's what this is. He did put a highlight on the back edge of this roof section. I'm just gonna do this. You go ahead and hit that up however you want. If you want it to be a little bit more close to how Bob did it, by all means. So yeah, on that particular section, we're going to do a little bit of our own interpretation on that. I don't know why there's a little speck of green in here. That's fascinating. Alright, I'm just gonna hit up a little bit of water. And I want this to be a bit of a more controlled piece of fluff. So we're gonna hit this up this way. Alright, so I'm gonna put in our edge here. As best as we can. Again, I'm not really putting that much weight on this finger that's on top of this fluff tail. It's just kind of there, hanging out. Just kind of making sure that my needle doesn't get carried away. Inviting more people to the party than the fire code allows, basically. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna take this guy across here, just so we get a little bit more definition of where the edge of that little offshoot's gonna happen. Like the storage shed, or maybe this is side entrance or something. Door seems to be on the other side since we never placed one on it. Or at least I never noticed him placing one, I'll put it that way. Oh, we never went back and added that thing. I completely forgot about it. Well, hopefully I'll remember to add that tomorrow. I don't really have time to add it today. I'm I'm going to pull this up just to make sure we're not becoming too stuck in. Now some of these roving colors in this multi-pack that I had picked up, they give you some shades. The bag's really pretty full. But then other shades I've had barely any in there. So I don't know if it was just like the end of that amount. I mean, it was a variety bag, so it was kind of a bit of a roll of the dice as to what colors we were going to get anyhow. And I still haven't really found a good supply of roving that is in a variety of colors that I can order individually and potentially reorder if I run out. So that's why I've been kind of leaning a bit more into the yarn aspect of things, because, well, I still have to worry about dye lots and colors getting discontinued. I've got a better shot at getting enough of what I need to begin with, instead of just this tiny little amount and hoping that I've stretched it out enough or have mixed it with another color. Make sure that that is attached there. Alright. So that's not too bad so far. Alright, so I said I was going to take some of this. Now, we don't want to go too carried away with this. We do want to see some of that fluff underneath, but I think this is how we're gonna handle darkening up this side a bit. Oh yeah, I think that will definitely be what we're looking for here. At the very least on this side. So I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, we do have a bit of a lighter gap up there, but I think that's okay. Like, I'm kind of okay if it's all like willy-nilly over here with the darkening of this up. I think it'll work to our advantage a bit. Okay, you can definitely see where we've tightened this felt up as we've been going in here, because now this is all kind of bunchy and baggy. Alright, let me tuck this color back into that bag so I just don't lose track of it, because we can still use that. And this color pretty much done with for today. Okay, so let's grab another small bit here. I had another piece that I pulled off of there, but maybe not. Or it vanished into fluff fill. Also possible. Alright, so I'm just kind of pulling these fibers apart a little bit. And kind of laying them down in here. Now, it might be easier for some people to just get all of their shadowy color stretched out and kind of laid in here all at once. If that works better for you, then by all means do it. What I'm doing might not work the best for you. It's been a learning journey to figure out how things are gonna work out a bit better for us compared to maybe some other people. Like, I'm sure the fact that I use a small gauge needle and a single needle probably drives some people absolutely crazy, because it's not like instantly done, and I know a lot of people tend to want like instant I'm gonna be instant gratification. Not the word I want here. To have something done within like X number of minutes. This is not exactly a fast medium to work with. At least not for me. I tend to go a little bit slower. We meander. We chat. Kind of hang out as we're working on stuff. Yeah, you know what? I am really liking that decision. Just putting just a bit of dark on there. And it does look a little, you know, haphazard and messy, but that's okay. Because, I mean, we're going to have a big old tree sitting like right about here, and I think the top of it's going to kind of cover up a good portion of the side of this. And he does have this side pretty darkened. I just didn't want to leave this like solid this color. I did want like a little bit of maybe some sun glinting off of it here and there, at least some hints of it not being quite so disastrously dark on this side. Maybe it rained recently and washed part of the building, you know. Maybe the wood's starting to dry out from it raining and sections of it still look darker because it's still wet. And we've got a multitude of things that could be going on here. Alright, so we'll grab this bit here. I feel like we do need just a little bit more. Like, I don't want to completely hide that mid-tone that we put in here. I think we definitely did need that there. For sure. I think it would have been missing something if we hadn't. Even if we're only getting little tiny peeks and glimpses at it. I still think it works to our advantage here. So I've got one more spot on here that I want to add. Just a little bit more of our dark shade. Just the tiniest bit. Remember, I want to fluff those strands out from each other. Don't want them too solid. Something like this section, like right in here, where it was a little bright. A little bit brighter than I necessarily was looking for. Well, this section might be a little bit tricky because I can't see where all of these strands are. Sorry, that circular motion was me trying to find any of the loose strands that hadn't gotten attached. Kind of spaghetti twirling them, sort of, just to see if there was anybody there. Alright, so we're still a little bit loose in here. Found a section. Down in here. Okay. Alright. And I think that will do it for today. So I know we look a little odd at the moment, and that's alright. Like, I know this is a little off, but okay. I thought I had a thin spot. It was just a mark on my monitor. Okay, so wait, is it a thin spot? Hold on. What is that? Oh, it was just a lighter bit of fluff. We're okay. Alright. So, tomorrow, we're going to try to finish out our building. So, we need to finish out this roof here. I think I need to extend that a little bit further at an angle here. So, we'll finish out our shed here. And then we'll slowly work our way in around our wheel. I'll probably fill in the center and we'll just redo the spokes. Just for simplicity's sake. But yeah, tomorrow's goal is to finish filling out the building. And if we get anything else done, great. If not, then at least hopefully we'll get the goal accomplished. So yeah, we'll see how things go. But I do want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this afternoon and getting started on our mill. We have links down below or on the about page or wherever. I don't know where they're at. They're there somewhere. To the YouTube channel, the Ko-fi, the burning hellhole that is Twitter, and Instagram. I'm not real active on Instagram. I usually like post when I have something to post. But you know, we're getting there. We've got a whole bunch of stuff getting archived over on the YouTube channel from the live streams. Occasionally we'll have a project pop up there that wasn't live streamed, so it might be good to follow over there. Following over there, or subscribing over there, excuse me, is free. It's the same as following here. So yeah, we have a plan in place for tomorrow. I hope you guys have a good start to your week. Hope the rest of your evening finishes out well. And I'll see you tomorrow.